Monkeypox is generally not fatal. Typically resolves on its own without treatment. Current outbreak presents as a rash. There's a very low risk of dying. Oh man, this is a fucking joke, huh? Oh, they did make this as compassionate use. Yeah, I mean, it's not that bearish. Oh, at least I shorted a little bit. Got a little bit of my money back. Holy moly, man. I feel like a dumbass. I gave up right. You know, it's kind of a good lesson of the stock market is anything that can happen will happen. A little like Murphy's Law. You know, I fight this stock for a few days. Finally, I give up, but I want to lose more money, and then boom. Now it'll dump. Yeah, now it'll dump. I mean, they're basically saying monkeypox resolves on its own. There's no, it's very extremely, you know, it's almost never fatal. There's, you know, it's probably, maybe it's a short. I don't know. Seems like it could still be a short since it's breaking. The story's kind of over. It's coming back. What do you think? What do you guys think? Short some more? I think so. I need my money back. I need it back. TPOX made by CDC? That's not what they said. CDC coordinates this stuff. Made available through the CDC. It's not made by the CDC. Yeah, I'd like to see it drop a little bit more before shorting more. I don't want to get caught on the bottom. Yeah, it's good. I mean, that press release sort of shows that the FDA doesn't think this is a problem, that it's not a, I mean, they literally said it's not really a danger. That's basically what they said. So all this hype, let's see how long this hype has lasted. All this hype is going to sort of deflate, you know. They basically have said, you know, there's nothing to worry about. It's not, I mean, it's like the opposite of COVID. It's not dangerous. It causes a rash and then it goes away. the fuck do we need to worry about that? It's probably going to go back to 12. That's the FDA speaking. I mean, it might go back to 7. Or it might go back to 20. You know, it's like I said. The thing about one thing, only rule about the stock market is there are no rules. It looks like it's going to crap out. We'll see. Yeah. I'm lowered a little bit less than that. Let's see if it craps out there. It is falling. Alright. It got me.
Order partially filled.
I'm in.
Order filled.
I'll chase it down. Of course, Friday at fucking 3 o'clock. You know, the best time to put news out. Oh, and there it goes back up. Yeah, this is gonna dump. It's definitely gonna dump. Nobody gives a fuck about monkeypox after this press release. They're not gonna procure just to put people's minds at ease. If it's a self-resolving disease, fucking disease doesn't, and there's no, it doesn't even work. Nobody knows if this drug works or not. Yeah, come on, I'm back in. Fuck that.
Order filled.
Shkreli's back. Just gonna leave a little room to short some more. So last time I was short about double this, so a little bit of room. Alright,
Order filled.
let's go, baby. Let me see 12. See, it can't go back to 1. It's worth something. It's just that. Look at that. It's crazy, huh? Yeah, it's a $5 to $7 stock. This is good because it breaks the backs of all the speculative longs, right? They're just sort of toast now. You know, it's got another volatility halt here, but the longs are basically just saying, all right, I feel stupid. I have to hold this thing. So I'm just going to sell if it's over. I don't think I made a mistake in the Sega trade necessarily. Shit happens, you know. I mean, the stock market's difficult, you know. It's,
contact and told you were vaccinated, even with the caveats that Jay said. So we're in a very complex situation right now, and I think it's very hard for the federal government and public health departments to take this message and bring it across the gay community. I think there's going to need to be some work by LGBTQ and HIV organizations to start getting out the information on the way risk is presented for this disease, and that it's not just, it has nothing to do with safe sex and PrEP for HIV. We're in a totally different ballgame right now. So, you know, whether you're vaccinated or not, I think we're going to talk about an era, at least in the near term, of modified sexual behavior. The one thing to mention is that during the mid-'80s, gay men voted with their feet and actually changed sexual behavior, even before we had big HIV prevention programs by groups like, you know, Stop AIDS in San Francisco or GMHC in New York. So I think we can do it, but it's a community mobilization exercise and a community education exercise that we need to do right now.
You know, I'm curious. I mean, clearly, and this is an audience question too, but I think it interests me as well. Clearly, you know, men who have sex with men are particularly particularly I can't say that word, especially susceptible population. But why has it not spread more among other groups? Is this just selection bias, or is it, you know, are we not looking? Are we just not testing?
Well, it's probably a reflection of the degree to which different social and sexual networks overlap, number one. Number two, it seems to be very efficiently transmitted through anal receptive intercourse and to some degree oral sex. And so it's a combination of the mechanism of transmission, and then are those social sexual networks overlapping? And I think it is only a matter of time before you see spread into other populations, because there are overlaps. We have seen, I think, just over a dozen cases among women in this country. It may be that it won't be as efficiently transmitted for a whole host of reasons, number of concurrent partners, density of sexual networks, but I think we will see some transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I think there are probably many reasons why the U.S. government response was so delayed in May. I think one of them was a real underappreciation of, this term, Celine's used and, many of us use called dense social networks, where, if I have 10 close friends and each of those 10 friends also has another 10 close friends, a disease is going to spread way faster in that community than it will if, I only have 2 or 3 friends and some of my friends are loners and don't go out very much. And I think there was probably a real underappreciation of, how dense an outbreak like this, how dense the community of how active, how the social MSM sexual networks are, how dense those networks are, and so how rapidly it can spread. And once I saw, these reports coming out of the UK, concentrated so heavily there, it was very clear to me how rapidly it would spread elsewhere. But again, as Celine and many of us have always tried to emphasize, there is no biological reason it will stay restricted to there. There may be a biological reason, that is this, the ease with which it gets transmitted through receptive anal intercourse. There may be a biological reason it's more likely to be transmitted in that network, but we know certainly that it's going to spread to family members, to other non-male partners that people have. And then, of course, there could be ongoing transmission through other congregate settings and personal care facilities like massage parlors or spas, et cetera. The real question is going to be whether it spreads as rapidly as it does in these MSM sexual networks. And that's a question we just don't know the answer to.
We have another listener question, and so basically, when you are infected with monkeypox, you have to quarantine for nearly 3 weeks. But unlike COVID, there's no financial support for program for missed work or lost wages. If the United States declared a public health emergency, would that address it? And if not, what would? Would it require an act of Congress?
The thing is that,
what's your view?
Other financial institutions,
this has been a major weakness of the COVID
you
response.
don't know what the policies are, and you don't know when they change.